About our two guests that I'm very excited about. They're from Chanhassen. Now, I'm a big fan of Chanhassen Dinner Theater, but I've always been at the main stage. Now we're at a smaller stage, and there's a sensational show there. It's a four-woman show, musical, called Respect. We were out there, and it is so great that I simply had to have you see what it's all about. And the guests are going to be, I'm introducing, I'm making sure I've got it right, Seri Johnson and Timotha Lanae.
Timotha Lanae.
Timotha, oh, it's Timotha.
Yeah.
I made you into a man, didn't I?
A variation of.
Well, I think that we were out there, and it was just terrific. In fact, it was so good that we'd like to come back again. Ooh. But also because of the fact that it's such an unusual show, that I'm going to have just read a paragraph of what the show's all about, because I think particularly the women in the audience, and the viewers, will appreciate this. The show features a cast of four women who sing their way through more than 60 popular jukebox songs to tell the story of the American women's journey from 1900 to the present. From the codependence of I will follow him, to the anger of these boots were made for walking, that was terrific, to the cynicism of what's love got to do with it, and finally to the strength of hero. The night we were there, the audience was wildly enthusiastic. Are you finding, I'll start with asking you, Sarah, are you finding the audience consistently the way we were that night? Enthusiastic?
Mm-hmm. They jump out of their seats at the end, they giggle, they laugh, they make commentary in the middle, and that you can tell that they're with you the whole time. It's really great.
And have you found this response a little startling for you? You're not used to that much enthusiasm in your
Sometimes at the end of the show I said, oh, we're rock stars. How nice.
Well, I'm going to show a clip, the first clip, so you can get an idea of what this show is all about. It's really exciting.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make him the cutest that I've ever seen. Give him two lips like roses and clover, and tell him that his lonesome nights are over. Stop in the name of love before you break my heart. Stop in the name of love before you break my heart. Think it over. Think it over. Lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop. Lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, lolly, lolly. He was the famous trumpet man from old Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was the top man at his craft. Well, then his number came up and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, a blowing reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B.
So that gives you an idea of what the show is all about. Now I got a question for you, Timotha. Throughout the show, there's such a variety of types of songs. How do you adjust to such a change of pace?
Well, it's a lot of fun. I like that aspect of it, that I'm able to sing different genres of songs from different time periods. And I really just try to get into the character of whichever that song is. So one of the first songs that I sing is Bill Bailey, which is a fun show tune.
That's one of the early periods.
Yeah, it's an earlier period.
And then what comes after? What are some of the other songs?
Some of the other ones, well, later on, like the 70s, I do Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive, which is, disco, and that's a lot of fun. Me and the girls get to, dance, and it's a whole different style of song. Actually, what it's saying, Bill Bailey is begging her man to come home, whereas I Will Survive is saying, you left me, but I'm still going to be all right. I'll survive.
Total change of attitude.
Total change of attitude.
And a refreshing change.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now, Seri, you've also, we don't see it on the clips, but you function as sort of the narration. You explain what's going on. What do you say, what do you talk about between the songs? What's the themes that you're attempting to portray?
Well, what I'm doing is I'm talking a little bit about the history. Like I bring up that a lot of change was happening with women because of fashion, and I talk about Coco Chanel. And later on, I bring in little pieces of personal life of the writer Dorothy Marsick, and I say, well,
that's the writer of this show.
That's the writer of this show, and talking about my grandmother left her husband. She got a divorce, and then it comes into a different song from there. So it's a nice intermixing of history of women and bringing in Rosa Parks and Ida B. Wells, and then the life of Dorothy Marsick, the writer.
Yeah, it's a fascinating saga. Well, let's take another clip. Let's take a look at another clip to give a further idea of the versatility of these ladies.
Rush to shore. Don't they know it's the end of the world, 'cause you don't love me anymore. The church and we're gonna get married, going to the church and buy your man and show the world you love him. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what theirs do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
You have undoubtedly noted that these are 4 great voices. And incidentally, before I forget, the show is going to run through this year and maybe the early part of next year. So why not think in terms of planning an event out there sometime the next few months? So I'm going to ask a question to both of you. Remarkable voices, all 4.
Thank
What's
you.
been the background, musical background for you two? Either one of you might make a comment on that.
Well, I've always sung ever since I was a child. That's always what I've loved to do. Been in choir, and I actually got started in theater in high school. They were doing auditions for West Side Story, and this was my senior year of high school out at Park Center High in Brooklyn Park here in Minnesota, and I decided, oh, okay, I'll audition for that, and I was cast in that as Anita, and that's where I got the bug for theater, because I've always loved to sing, but that gave me the acting and dancing and theater bug, and so ever since then, I've done different shows around town, and actually what brought me to Chanhassen is they were doing West Side Story also, and that's my favorite show, and when they did that back, I think that was 2005, 2006.
Were you in that?
I auditioned for it, they cast me in that, and
marvelous.
I've been there ever since, so that's what brought me there, was West Side Story, so.
And Seri, how about you?
I, too, grew up doing theater and music, and ended up getting a degree in theater and then moving to New York and doing some musical theater. And the best training is doing shows, being on the road and, and doing them.
I noticed in your listing you had several off-Broadway credits.
It was a great time being in New York, and I learned a lot being there.
Well, you were just great. Many, many thanks. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We've been viewing 2 of the wonderful performers in the show Respect Chanhassen Dinner.